This presentation is about the uses of worksheets and accompanies the instructional video about the skills grid. The skills grids requires the analyst to look at documentation and events in the real world, but also to reflect on his or her own analysis. This is done using the 9 worksheets listed here. Speaking in general terms, there are 3 categories for the uses of worksheets. The first is a sphere of activity, the second is a type of actor, and the third is a type of activity. Under sphere, you can look at commercial and business opportunities, the military, political, cultural and creative, organizational. Under type of actor, there are individual and groups, both transnational and infranational groups, as well as states and groups of states. Under activity, you can analyze, understand, manage, plan, predict, or forecast. For worksheet number 1, strategy, you can use it for forecasting, analyzing, and planning highly complex situations with incomplete information, but not necessarily competitive or conflictual situations. Military operations, elections, product launches, business launches, initial public offerings, multi-year research agendas, and crisis management are all situations that can be analyzed with worksheet 1. The worksheet on key actors helps you identify in a crisis which actors to keep track of and which not. For example, in an election campaign where commentators matter, in a board meeting which members carry several votes with him or her, and in a lobbying effort which bureaucrat or minister matters the most. When you analyze an actor's particular actions or tactics, you can identify which actions matter and need a response and which do not. For example, in an election campaign, which of the other party's actions do we need to counter? In a board meeting, which member's moves must be analyzed and taken into account? And in a lobbying effort, which action needs to be countered and which can safely be ignored? A strategy requires resources to be successful, and worksheet number 4 identifies what is necessary to reach the goal and which of the resources are potentially limiting. For example, in an election campaign, where to spend your money and when to spend it, when to exploit contacts and when to call in favors. In a lobbying effort, where to spend the money or when to use up the goodwill towards you. Worksheet number 6 helps you identify the rules of the game and identifying specifically which can guarantee your failure. For example, what rules can you ignore in an election campaign or a lobbying effort and which you can't? Laws of war, international treaties, international tax treaties, and when to make a gift to someone and when not to. Worksheet number 6 covers factors under no one's control. It identifies what factors outside your control may guarantee your failure, whether you are an individual or a government. In the situations such as the requirements for an economic stimulus, environmental activism, getting a play produced, writing a novel, policy or program development, or making a film. With worksheet number 7, Steps and Nodes, you identify which steps are essential to your success, and therefore, which steps require more resources and effort. Military operations, election campaigns, product launches, business launches, initial public offerings, multi-year research agendas, crisis management require that. Under Tactics and Countertactics, worksheet 8, you identify which actions move towards a goal, which you take, and which others take. Whether you're doing enough, whether another actor is doing enough, and identifying opportunities or weaknesses in the situation. Those questions can be asked and answered in a range of situations, such as activism, elections, war, counterterrorism or freedom fighting, and competing for prizes, jobs, or admission to academic programs. The core idea, also found on Worksheet 1, develops an intuitively clear idea that allows coherent decision-making by multiple actors in highly complex situations of high uncertainty. It can help in forecasting events, predicting events, managing events, in situations such as elections, military operations, lobbying, legal proceedings, curating art shows, and grant getting. The uses of worksheets are many, but this presentation has barely scratched the surface. There are many, many more applications besides the ones mentioned here.